Hey everyone, it's Tracy Martirani here from Holistic Wellness with Tracy. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining. Today I wanted to do another herbal spotlight, and today I want to talk about St. John's wort. Most people have heard of St. John's wort in regards of using it as a mood lifter to treat maybe mild depression. But it also has other uses and some pretty big warnings and precautions. So this is a short video. Please stay to the end so you make sure you get all of the information so you make informed decisions if you are thinking about taking St. John's wort or if you're taking it now. St. John's wort has lots of good medicinal qualities, but even if you want to do nothing with it other than grow it in your garden, I highly recommend it because it is beautiful. Now you might not be able to see here well, but this is some of the leaves, just a little the leaves. They're sort of oblong in shape. And then the pretty yellow flowers, which you just saw on my outdoor plant. 5 little petals, all nice and pretty. So it's like sunshine in a flower, right? If you grow it in your garden, I do add like my first precaution right here. One of the side effects of St. John's wort is photosensitivity, which means if you are fair-skinned and take a lot of St. John's root, you are likely to sunburn easier or maybe even get rashes or just break out when your skin is exposed to sun, which can be a little troublesome, but animals run into the same problems. So this can sort of be the bane of existence for farmers if it grows in their area because their cattle or their pigs or whatever livestock they're raising will eat the plant and then end up like really sick from like sunburn, sun poisoning, and it can even cause death if the animals eat too much. So just be aware of that. I mean, I've had mine out in the yard growing. I've never seen the woodchuck or a bunny eat it, but you know, maybe they're smarter than cows. Who knows? I want to talk about why someone might consider taking St. John's wort. And I also want to talk about its precautions and warnings because they are big. And I feel like many people think that just because it's natural, that it's herbal, that it's safe. And St. John's wort is definitely one that is not safe for everybody. And actually, there's a lot of people who are probably taking it that shouldn't. And a lot of people who don't even really need it, who are taking it because they've heard good things about it, and it might be causing harm. So let's talk about why people take it. First of all, St. John's wort is a relaxing nervine, which means it affects the nervous system. It's not like a sedative. I'd say more relaxing because it's not putting you to sleep. It's mellowing things out. So it tends to be a bit of a mood lifter. And that's why people turn to it if they're suffering a little bit of mild depression or anxiety. People take it to relieve symptoms of menopause or PMS. And that can be a good thing. However, it's really good for mild symptoms. If you're having like severe depression, this is not the route you want to go. And we'll get to that in a minute. It's also vulnerary and astringent, which means it's great for wound care. So to me, this is where it shines. This is where it's pretty safe. It's where it can cause a lot of benefit. So using it in first aid salves or wound washes, things like that, so that you're using it topically, that's where I like St. John's wort. That's my happy place. Combine it with calendula, and it makes a nice soothing lotion, like I said, first aid cream, anything along those lines. And lastly, it's an alterative. Why can't I speak today? It's good for your liver. Let's go with that. If you decide after listening to everything else I'm going to say about this herb that it's something you want to try. It does promote good liver health, detoxification, which is great for just overall health and vitality. If you decide to grow it and you want to harvest it yourself, the main part that we use is the little flower and then any little tiny flower buds. Now this one, yes, isn't going to do it, but sometimes when you squeeze the flower buds, you end up with like this little red stuff on your fingers, and that means it's like prime for harvesting. But even if it's not prime for harvesting, it's still going to have benefits. So just harvest the flowers and the buds when they're nice and vibrant and healthy looking. You can then use them fresh, which is actually the best way to use them, or you can dry them so that you can use them, in the off season when you can't use fresh, right? I mean, here where I live, it's only fresh. I can only use fresh for a few months. From really like July and August, that's probably about it. But you can also purchase ready-made products, and I will actually link down in the description box the company that I like to order my herbs from, actually, are herbal products. If I'm buying something already made, I'm likely to buy it from them. Typically, I buy the herbs, make things myself, but you do you. But this company is a company that I trust. Their product quality is very good. So definitely, if you're buying herbs, buy them from a reputable herb company. That does mean you'll pay a little bit more to get organic, fair trade, responsibly harvest product. Now let's start to talk about precautions. And I want to throw these out here. And I must say that I almost actually didn't do a video on St. John's wort because I didn't really want to promote it too much to people because it has really big issues. But then that's actually what made me decide to do this video, is because I feel like because people hear of St. John's wort often. I mean, I heard it for years being touted sort of as this cure-all. If you were slightly depressed or had a little bit of anxiety, take this miracle herb and all will be well. And that is true. I mean, it does work. It is beneficial if that is the case. But there are like some big warnings that I know I was not aware of until a few years ago. So I think there's a possibility that maybe you're not aware of them either. First of all, you can take St. John's wort to treat, again, very just mild depression, not really like deep clinical depression. We're talking just, like your mood is off. Maybe it's PMS, maybe it's menopause, maybe you are having just a rough go of things, and maybe anxiety is creeping in a little bit. That's the perfect use for it right there. But it's not good to take it if you have more severe mental health issues, such as even ADHD, which that's everywhere, right? I feel like everybody has some amount of ADHD. So ADHD, schizophrenia, clinical depression, severe anxiety, OCD, like any of these things, you shouldn't be taking St. John's wort. It can actually make symptoms worse. Just no, you don't want to. And that in itself, to me, is reason to be very careful, because if you are suffering from mild depression, it's hard to know, is this really just something I'm going through? Is this just maybe hormonal? Or is this something more severe, more serious, something that I really need to take a closer look at and not just self-medicate? And then the second issue, which to me is actually almost bigger, because it affects everybody, no matter what your mental health state is. If you are taking St. John's wort, you could run into problems because it interferes with so many medications. And some of them are the medications that people might be taking because they have anxiety or depression. So if you're taking a prescription medication, you should not double dip and also take St. John's wort. That is bad. But it's not just those types of medications. It interferes with blood pressure medications. It interferes with birth control. It can even interfere with Prilosec, which people are taking for acid reflux. So if you're even thinking about taking St. John's wort, talk to your doctor. Make sure that you don't have a bigger mental health issue going on that needs to be addressed in a more serious fashion. Make sure you're not taking a medication for some other problem that you're not even thinking about that this might interfere with. Again, blood pressure, birth control, those are two big ones that pop up in my mind of like, whoa, that's not good. So talk to your doctor. Do not just self-medicate with St. John's wort. Now, I'm going to say it again, talk to your doctor, because I know many of the people that I gel with, right? The people who want to do natural remedies, want to use their herbs, be more natural, maybe use a few less pharmaceuticals, treat ourselves with what we think are healthier options. We tend to think oh, look at me, I'm going to fix this problem myself. I'm not going to go to the doctor. I'm not going to take another prescription. I am going to try this natural herb and all will be well. And this is one of those instances where I urge you, please let that mindset go here. If you are seriously thinking about taking it, talk to the doctors. And better yet, just don't take it. Use it maybe for your wound care, your skin remedies, but really think twice about taking it internally, because is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know. If you do decide to take it, one last mention of some side effects. So not only does it exacerbate true mental health issues, not only does it interfere with a lot of our prescription medications that we take, it also can just mess up your belly. So if you take too much, some of the side effects are diarrhea, restlessness. So now you've gone from being a little depressed and a little anxious to now being jittery and that doesn't sound like a good trade-off. That photosensitivity that I mentioned earlier is a real thing. So if you take too much, you got to avoid the sun. If you're depressed, you need sunshine. I don't know. Have I talked you out of this herb yet? I'm thinking I probably have. So parting thoughts before I let you go is I love to also give a disclaimer. I am not a doctor. This is what I know from my herbal knowledge, my herbal trainings, my classes, my experience. It might not be true for you. You might take this and it might work great. You might think, oh, I could take it, and you might get sick. I don't know. You might be allergic to it. I don't know you. So you are responsible for making your own decisions. So please take what I say, listen to your doctor, combine it all together, and do what's best for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you will be back soon to check out some of my other videos on healthy recipes, yoga, meditation, herbs, and herbal remedies. I'll see you soon. Have a great day.